Okay. Our update on my husband's vasectomy reversal. The other video that I did was about how just catching everybody up on our journey, and then about how we were going to have his reversal done. So we went to Texas. The 24th was his surgery. I think that was last Thursday. Anyway, so we decided to go with Dr. Loddie Roeder. I don't know how you say the name. In Texas, and in New Braunfels, Texas. So if anybody wants to look up that information, I think it's vas-reversals.com. We went down there. We flew from our home, and which kind of sucked because I was sick. I had a sinus infection, and then you got on the plane, and although the plane ride was really beautiful, I thought my head was going to explode from the pressure of the sinuses. But anyway, we made it down there. Yeah, we made it down there. My husband's behind the camera going, but anyway, we made it down there. We went down. They tell you that you could just come down like the night before. Then the next day you go to the office, and he meets with you, goes over the process with you. Then you go, there's like a surgery suite or room or wing, whatever. And so they prep you. I was allowed to be in there. I had to be behind at my husband's head, behind a screen. But I was allowed to watch, but I mean, for safety reasons and germ reasons, I had to wear like the scrubs with the mask and everything, which was pretty cool. I wished I had brought my camera because I wanted a shot of me in the scrubs. Hilarious. But anyway, so the surgery lasted, his surgery was at 10, and we were there until 1, 11, 12, 1, yeah, maybe 1:30 maybe. So it was like 3 hours. He talked to us beforehand, and his staff, Dean, and there's some ladies, and at this moment I'm kind of tired, so I can't remember their names. They were so sweet. We were treated so well. But anyway, we decided to go down a day and a half before because we'd never been to Texas, and we thought we wanted to sightsee a little bit. They referred us to a motel or a hotel. We stayed at the Microtel. They had other hotels on their website. If you go to Dr. Loddie Roeder's website, there's a list of hotels, and we got a discount because we were one of his patients. So if you use him, I recommend staying there. We sightseeing. What was it? We went sightseeing. Okay, yeah, we went sightseeing. And the day before, we had a really great time. I'll talk about that later, and maybe another little video of a little Texas trip, because it was kind of cool. And then the next morning we went in there. He talked to us, took us to the surgery area, or Dean and the ladies got us all ready. Then we met with Dr. Roeder. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. They did the surgery. I was in the scrubs, and I know I'm backtracking. It was done under local, so Joe was awake. My husband was awake for the whole thing. And on the left side, when he got in there, and I was able to watch. I was able to stand on the stool and look over the drapery, as long as I had my mask on and scrubs. And at first, I was worried that I'd be really freaking out about it. But he went well. The surgeon and his staff was so skilled and so lovely. On Joe's left side, they got in there, and he said it almost grown back, that there was like a granuloma. Or anyway, Joe's sperm had been actually leaking out into the scrotum for, I mean, it'd been 26 years since he had his vasectomy. Plus, maybe 26, 28 years. So we were really surprised that left side had almost grown back, reattached itself. So he took out all the scarred bits and then reattached it. You know, it was microsurgery. And then he did the right side, Joe had a little bit of problems with the right side. I mean, it wasn't the surgeon or anything. It was just, you know, each person's different. So if you and your husband go, you know, you may not have that. But Joe had a little bit of pain during the surgery on that right side, which they gave him some more pain medicine and numbed it, so he didn't feel it the whole time. But he just seemed to have a harder time with that right side. And then it was over. It was really simple. They helped him get dressed, and then we went to a conference room after the surgery when Joe was ready, and then we discussed post-op. And the post-op is on the website, and they give you a list of the post-op to take with you. And it's basically, you can't have sex for at least 3 weeks, 21 days, but, you know, it's better, you know, if you can go 4 weeks. No lifting over 10 pounds. He was really emphasizing, you know, if you redo and repay if you do anything strenuous. So, no lifting, just taking it easy. So, we went back to the hotel room, and he rested. My husband rested all evening and you have to bring, like, the brief underwear, and he wore a jock strap. You know, the man support, scrotal support, without the cut, you know, just with the soft cut part, not the hard cut. And he has to wear that for a month, so he's still wearing that. It'll be like 21 days, the 22nd of February, and it's been, or no, 21 days like the 13th. Yeah. Anyway, went back to the hotel room. He rested, rotated ice. They put him on antibiotics, Cipro, that day. And then rotating ice, and then, you know, kind of bed rest all day. Then the next day, we had an appointment to go back to see the surgeon for post-op, for follow-up. And he checked everything out. It looked good. Joe bled a little bit that night. And based on other people's experiences, I expected a lot more bleeding. You know, days and days of it. But he didn't. He bled that night and took a shower. And that was it. He was really swollen, though. I was surprised at how, man, you don't, grapefruit. Well, it was a grapefruit. But anyway. And there was a lot of bruising. But the ice kind of helped. Anyway, we went back the next day for post-op. He said the incision looked good. Joe wasn't really bleeding after that. Although we still, for that first day, day and a half, 2 days, kept like gauze or in there on the incisions, so he wouldn't bleed on his pants or underwear. Anyway, then that was Friday. And he said, the staff and him said, and the surgeon said that, you know, we could have flown back that day. A lot of people do. A lot of people just go down the day before. But no, we stayed an extra night. And, you know, Joe was feeling pretty good. He said he didn't feel a lot of pain afterward. He just said he felt like squeezing. And he didn't look too bad. You know, it was swollen and there was quite a bit of bruising. But the doctor said it should be fine, and we wanted to do a little bit more sightseeing, and they said that he could walk some, just not anything strenuous. So we went to like the tea garden there, which was free, by the way. I'll talk about that later. And it was really fun. It was great. And then we went to like the zoo. But what we did that afternoon, even though we went to the zoo, is Joe just rode in one of them electric carts that you know, like the grocery store has. So he wasn't really walking. Did that for a couple hours and then went back to the hotel room and rested. Nothing strenuous. Then Saturday morning, we got on a plane and flew home. And he couldn't lift anything home, so here I am in the airport carrying all our luggage, which I didn't overpack because I knew ahead of time he couldn't lift anything. I just had a little suitcase and a duffel bag, really. A small one, not even, I called it a duffel bag, but it's more like, it was just a little bag. And then the little suitcase that you could use for carry-on. So he came home and he was sore. We got home Saturday evening. But then it was like the swelling wasn't going down, and on the right side where he had the little problem during the surgery, it got really, really, really like black. And even up the shaft of his penis got black. And that right side just kept swelling like it was like a walnut knot, you know. So Sunday, I was really worried. Joe was running a fever. He used to back to fever about like 101. And we called the surgeon, and he said we could do that. And he said it was something called a hematoma, which we knew that they had told us beforehand that might be a risk. It happens quite a bit, but not all the time. Joe was in some pain, but he said it wasn't bad. It was more squeezing, more pressure than anything else. I was worried, though, because you're not supposed to have much inflammation because you don't want to scar over. And I'm running a little bit long on this, so this is part 1 of it. I'm going to stop now. But basically, surgery went well. I highly, highly recommend Dr. Roeder, New Braunfels, Texas, near San Antonio. You can look it up online. It's a great. We paid $3,000 for the surgery, which is not as cheap as some others we had seen, but it's very affordable compared to a lot of the other quotes that we had gotten. So I'm going to make a part 2 because I want to go into detail about the follow-up and Joe's his recovery with the hematoma and what we're doing to try to get better over that. So I'm going to do a second video. So this is part 1, and I'll continue this in part 2.